big man.
I don't need that. In my life, there are days when I speak very few words. And there are days when I speak many words. And there are days when I don't speak. Today happens to be one of the days on which I speak very few words. So I want to begin by welcoming all of you to Aegis. It is so nice seeing you guys. So nice. So energetic. Looking wonderful. Looking amazing. But what will happen? A few weeks from today, your faces will change appearances because of many reasons. In 1940, when Sir Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill became the Prime Minister of the UK, he made a statement. He said, I have nothing to offer but blood, tears, toil, and sweat. The question is, what do you have to offer now that you're here, admitted to pursue a course? There are 5 stages that all of you will go through here. 5. Take note of these 5 stages and always know the state at which you are in so that you know what to do. The first one is the starting stage. All of you are there now. You are so excited at that stage. Things are fun, things are cool. You are trying to get used to the environment. The starting stage. The cup is rising. The tides are cool. The storm is not much. But very soon, you move to the break-even stage. At this stage, you are standing on the edge of a cliff. You're about to break. You got pressures from so many people, your supervisors, things are not working in the lab, and you can easily break at the break-even stage. Be careful when you get to that stage. There was a student in my department who came around 2017. He got to that stage so early, and he did not manage himself properly, and he broke down. And guess what? He left. Be careful when you get to that stage, the break-even stage. Now, beyond this stage, there are 2 critical stages. You can go to the breakdown stage, where you break down, or you crash, or the quitting point. Or you can go to the breakthrough point. So, depending on what you do during the break-even stage, you can either go to the breakthrough stage or the breakdown stage. Now, if you persist through the breakdown stage, you reach the breakthrough stage. If you reach that stage, you fly. There things are nice. You have published papers, and you have qualified to graduate. Now the last stage is the finishing stage, where most of us are right now. At this stage, the pressure is no more. You're just waiting to defend and then go home. Take note of the break-even stage, the breakthrough stage, and the breakdown stage. Now, there are 10 things that I want to share with you guys today that you must do, that will help you from my own experiences. They'll help you a lot. The first thing is that be in the arena. What exactly do I mean? In 1910, the former president of the US, a man called Theodore Roosevelt, made a speech in France. And he said, the credit belongs to the man in the arena. Now, all of us are in the arena. But depending on what you do in the arena, you either take the credit or not. So, from the very first day, be in the arena. Get to understand how things happen. Get to know the dynamics from the different people. And then plan properly how to go through the dynamics. The second thing, there is this powerful African proverb that he who follows the track of an elephant never gets wet from the dew on the bushes. I think it is from West Africa. If you walk on the bushes in the morning, you can get wet because because of the deer on the bushes. But if someone goes before you and you follow their path, you don't get wet. The point is, seek help from those who have gone before you. It is your duty to identify the elephants who have gone ahead of you, whose tracks you want to follow, and then submit to them, and they will guide you. They know the roads. They've been there before. They've gone through the hurdles. When I came here, it was in November 2020, on the 13th exactly. And the first thing I did was to identify that elephant ahead of me. And there was only one student in my department, industrial engineering and systems management. There was one student called Andrew from Nigeria. So I went to this guy and we sat down to talk. Then I told him about myself and my course and everything. And then I asked him, what are the issues here? I want you to be real with me. No sugarcoating anything. He then told me the issues. There are two tracks in my department, industrial and manufacturing. He said, if you go this way, these are the issues. If you go this way, these are the issues. So make a decision. It helped me to dodge critical bullets along the way. So the point is, identify people who are doing your course, your program, and then go to them and learn from them. They will hold your hands, they'll mentor you, and they will guide you. Allow yourself to be guided. You should remember the words spoken by Socrates when they asked him how wise he was. He said, I know one thing, that I know nothing. From that answer, you learn that it is so important to be so humble, no matter how much you know. Because when things become so tough and you're beaten by life, you will need people to come and help you and pull you up. I met a man crying in the laboratory one day and things had broken down. He had reached the breakdown point. Things were so bad. He said every experiment he started would fail. So the man was crying, yes. He had broken down. He didn't know what to do. But there was a mistake he made. There were people who had gone before him who could guide him. But because he was proud, he never humbled himself enough to go and ask counsels from those guys. So he broke down until he became humble. Nobody was willing to help him. Nobody in life wants to deal with somebody who is proud, who is so proud. For me, in my life, one of the things that has helped me a lot in my life is that I'm always willing to learn from everyone, everywhere, every time, in every situation. Because I believe that what is there to learn in life is more than what you already know. Therefore, humble yourself enough and learn from the guys who have gone before you. They'll help you a lot. The third thing is that define where you want to go from here. This is very important because if you define where you want to go from here, that determines what you will do when you're here and how you will relate with people and your professors and everybody here. So critical. If you define where exactly you want to go from here, after here, what next? That determines how you will use your time. You know, sometimes you can become so excited because of the things that happen around here, and you forget to pay attention to the important things. But keep your focus on that particular thing that you want to do after here, so that you make good use of your time. Pretty soon, you will realize that the 2.5 years have turned into months. Months will turn into days, and days into hours, hours into seconds, and off. You have to go. But you will realize that a lot of work remains undone. The point is, define where you want to go from here, and then keep your eyes on it, always. That will help you in your relationship with the people here. You see, I like telling my colleagues that while we are here, these are very powerful people that you see here. Very powerful people. But you will realize when you live here that the person you slept with in the same flat is not the president of this country. I like telling people this story. One of my professors told me he slept in the same room with Tony Blair, the former Prime Minister of the UK. But he never expected Tony Blair to one day be the Prime Minister. He did not make good use of him when they were still sleeping together in a room in the UK. Until one day he woke up and the man had become the Prime Minister. So they are very powerful people here. So powerful. In any international school in the world, pay attention to the international students. Because most of them go back to their countries and become very powerful people. What am I saying? We have people from different countries here. If there are 10 people from Ghana, you cannot go back to your country when you don't have someone from Ghana as a brother, not just a friend. I'll tell you a little story here. In April last year, on the 4th of April exactly, it was Easter, I remember. It was a Sunday. I woke up in the morning and I saw a message on my phone that my dad had died back home in Uganda. Then I asked how he died, and they told me they killed him. They sent me the photos. I saw the photos and blood all over his body. And the point is, my colleagues here, they came to me. They were more than friends, the way I relate with the people here. So they came to me, to my flat, and talked to me. And some of them asked me, what can we do for you? Right? It's so painful losing your dad at such a stage. I said, okay, all I need is your presence around me. That is my strength. Very important. If you're from Uganda, or you're from Kenya, or Nigeria, do not live in a very narrow world. Get exposed. Get friends from different countries. They will help you a lot. One of the biggest mistakes you can make in life is to think that you are only a citizen of your country. That's one of the biggest mistakes you can make in life. To think that you are only a Ugandan or a Kenyan or a Nigerian. That's a big mistake. I tell people, I met a lady from Mexico at an airport in September. She saw my passport and I said, oh, you are a Ugandan. You're a Ugandan. How is Uganda? You know, she was asking about the problems in the country. I said, no. This is what you see in the passport. I am not just a Ugandan. I am an international. I am a global citizen. I don't limit myself to only Uganda. Uganda is too small for me. How you look at yourself determines how you will treat people around you. So get exposed. You are now international figures. So be international in your thinking, in your actions, and in everything that you get involved in. Number 4, be open to opportunities. You know, in life, you create your own destiny. And your future is in your hands. Your prosperity is in your hands. How? What you do every day of your life determines your destiny. The choices you make determines the actions you take. There is this powerful verse in the Bible. Those who are Muslims, forget about the Bible, but take the words, because knowledge and wisdom are universal. In the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 10, King Solomon wrote these words. He said, whatever your hands find to do it with all your might. Whatever your hands find to do it with all your might. Now, you will find so many opportunities here. So many. The question is, how will you do whatever your hand finds to do? That's the question. That determines the results you will get. Be open-minded to opportunities. When they come, seize them. Opportunities come to those who are prepared for them. So you can ask around and find out the kind of opportunities that normally come, and you prepare for them in advance. Whom to ask? The elephants that have gone before you. Ask them. The old monkeys in the forest. They know all the corners of the forest. Number 5. Be busy. Be busy. But be productive. Be busy, but be productive. It is so easy for you to tell someone, I am so busy. Well, we're all busy in many ways. The issue is, what are you busy doing in your own little space? There was a colleague in my lab where we were working. The guy was busy. He was really busy. We were all busy, but the difference is he was busy and productively. He would go to the lab to play video games in the lab. He was busy playing video games. We were busy doing experiments. Very soon, time caught up with him. He took his video games from his flat up to the lab. You cannot do that in the lab. You know you are supposed to be working in the lab. He did the wrong thing at the wrong place while expecting to get the right results. You will get an extension. It's already assured. You will get an extension. Because he's supposed to be finishing by now, but it is not possible. We were with him in the lab. He was always playing video games in the lab. So it is so bad. Know what you want so that you know what to do at a particular time. If you're in the lab, be busy, do work. If you're in the football pitch, be busy, play the game. If you're attending a church service, be busy and do that. In other words, set your priorities right. There are things that are important and urgent. Attend to those things first. There are things that are important, but they are not urgent. Those ones can wait. There are things that are not important, but they are urgent. They can also wait. There are things that are not important and they are not urgent. Those ones, even if you don't do them, you don't lose anything. The problem is people pay attention to things that are not important and not urgent. They are not important and they are not urgent. People pay attention to those things. So it is your duty to define what is important for you and what is urgent. That's your duty. Number 6. Early is best. Remember this until you get out of this university. Early is best. The best time to do your work is to do it early. That's the best time. Now for me, when I came, I started my experiments in the very first semester. The first semester. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do exactly what I did. It worked for me, it may not work for you. So do what works for you. It worked for me because in my lab, the machines are ever breaking down. That is in my lab. And I think it is also common in other labs. But in my lab, the machines are ever breaking down. So most of the guys who have worked in that lab have been affected by the machines. So when I came, my advisor told me, I'm not sure if I'll be a supervisor, but there are issues in that lab. So we need to start early. We don't know what will happen. And that is what saved me. Otherwise, I would surely get extension. In the first semester, the experiments I did in the first semester are the ones that helped me to date. Because up to now, the machines are not working. I've spent more than a year without going to that lab. What do you do in that case? So get to understand the conditions in your lab. Understand the dynamics, what happens in that lab. There are people there who will tell you so that you plan properly. You understand me properly? It's so important. Because right now, you look at 2.5 years and feel like, we have a lot of time. We have a lot of time. Ask the guys in my batch now. The years turn into months very quickly, and the months turn into days. Now we are looking at hours left. It's so serious. If you get to this point, you will remember every single time you wasted, every moment you wasted, you will remember. Because you need to do the seminar, the public seminar, and defend the thesis, and there are so many things to do. You remember all the useless things you wasted time on. That's why it's so important to define the things that you want to do. So important. Again, we go back to the Bible. In Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 6, King Solomon wrote these words. Sow your seeds in the morning. Listen carefully. Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 6. Sow your seeds in the morning, and at evening let not your hands be idle. For you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will equally do well. This is so important. Do not waste time. Do not procrastinate. Do not think you always have time. There are things that you can never be able to do beyond a certain period of time. Again, it is your duty to define those things and concentrate on them. There is this thinking that I have time, I still have time. Okay, pretty soon, time catches up with you. There's a way time catches up with people. And your eyes get open and you realize, oh, the best time to do this was last year. And you realize now you want to do something, but the machines are not working. What do you do? What do you do when you don't know what to do? What do you do when things are not working out? Again, stay close to people. There are some who will hold your hands and walk with you and guide you and help you to stay steady. I have so many people here whom I consult when I have issues. So many issues. There are so many issues. Be careful not to turn your room into your prison. For some of us, our rooms become our prisons. You could spend like a month without almost seeing your flatmate. You wonder what is wrong. They're ever in their rooms and the rooms have become prisons. That's a problem. Socialize. Get out of your room. Go and see people. Talk with them. Share ideas. Because you may think you have a very big problem, but when you talk to a colleague, you get re-energized when you listen to what they're going through. There was a time, the first time I went to the lab, I did 200 experiments without any good results. Wasted experiments. And I said, what am I doing here? I was asking myself many crazy questions. Then I went to a colleague. I landed on a colleague who was walking in the corridor and he didn't even know where he was going. Then I asked him, what is wrong? Then he said, man, I've done experiments over 1,000. I said, hey, 1,000. I did 200. And he's a master student. Oh, I said, okay. 1,200? I went back to the lab. I was re-energized. I said, okay, 1,200. I did 200 more experiments and I reached the breakthrough point. So, do not die alone. Get out of your zone and find out how things are going on. And you get re-energized. And also comfort people, I went back to that guy and I worked with him and we need to offer moral support to one another. Because sometimes there are some people who, when they break down, they cannot easily get up. They cannot easily get up on their own. There are some people. So we need to be close to one another. Be your brother's keeper. Be your sister's keeper. Because if we don't help one another, nobody will help us here. We need to stand. This is a family of the African students. So we need to help one another. It's very important. Number 7, the world is yours to explore. Keep this statement and pass it on to your children. And command them to pass it on to their grandchildren. The world is yours to explore. What do I mean here? Do not limit yourself to a very narrow space. The whole world is a mission field. All of us are on a global mission in the world. Do not live in a very narrow world as if you belong to only a small part. The whole world is yours to explore. Recently, I met a woman, a very young woman. She sat next to me on a plane and she found me reading a book. We spent 4 hours talking. And she was asking me about my country, and I was asking about her country. She's from Peru. And she said, for her, she did not want to leave her country because she's only a Peruvian. Somebody from Peru is called a Peruvian. Then I said, okay, how do you look at yourself? As only a citizen of your country? No, the whole world is just explore. Go into the world and explore new horizons. Expand your thinking space. Meet new people, socialize. Expand your life. Get involved in many things that can benefit you for your future. It is so important. You are more than a citizen of your country. Very important. You are more than a citizen of your country. You are more than an African. You are a global citizen. Make your mark in the world. Number 8. Do greater and better than us who have gone before you. It is very easy for you guys now to excel and do things better than us because we are there to show you the way. I like telling people this very important statement, that in life, other people can always show you the way and even work with you. But no one can ever work for you. It's a very important statement. This summarizes mentorship in one statement. Other people can always show you the way and even work with you. But no one will ever work for you. Why? Because it is your responsibility to work for yourself. So our role is to guide you guys, to show you guys the way, to tell you about the hurdles on the way. But it is your duty to work for yourself. The question is, are you ready to work for yourself? Very important. Number 9. You know, at the end of the game, all the players go back home. At the end of our studies here, we shall all go back home. Guaranteed. Whether you defend the thesis or you get the degree or not, you will go back home. Guaranteed. But the question is, how do you want to go back home? We know the conditions in our countries. What contributions do you want to make when you go back to your country? How are you going to change your country? Think about that. Because we need to make some contributions to our countries and also the continent. At the end of our studies here, we all return home. But you return home to do what? Why? When? How? With whom? For whom? Think about that. The last one. This is very important. Remember this until you die. Your future is in your hands. Never forget this statement. I repeat it. Your future is in your hands. Never forget this. Your destiny is in your hands. Your prosperity is in your hands. In your hands, you hold the key to your future, the key to your life, the key to your prosperity, the key to your success. The question is, what are you going to do with the key? Thank you so much, guys.